What's up, everybody? We're talking about the great debate, the NBA's great debate on who the greatest team ever is. There is no debate. I don't know where these people coming up with the Knicks in '95, who I believe lost to the Magic, who lost to the Rockets. Somebody said the Blazers just because they scored 49 points in a quarter. What's that got to do with anything? They lost to the Bulls. And then somebody said the 2010 Miami Heat. Last time I checked, they lost to probably the sorriest NBA champions of all time. You can't be in the discussion for the greatest team of all time if you didn't win a ring during that year. You just can't. Oh wow, potential. That's what people are going off of. We had the potential to be great. You still didn't win anything. So you don't get to be in the conversation. There are people talking about the Celtics, Bird and them. I don't know what Drake was talking about. He lost his mind just because Bird can't jump. He got more rings than LeBron. And I like LeBron. I'm cool with LeBron. Him going to Miami because they wasn't getting him no help in Cleveland. But I don't like the fact that people are saying that, well, they the greatest team because they ain't got no rings to show for it. The greatest team in NBA history is not the Bulls. No, I know some of y'all thought I was going with the Bulls. No. It's not the Celtics. I just gave them some praise. No, it's not them neither. I want to give y'all a history lesson. Now, I'm not a history major. I'm a mass comm major, but I want to give y'all this history lesson. Back in 2002, 2003, y'all remember that? The Lakers, Kobe and Shaq were going for their fourth straight NBA championship. Nobody could stop them. Everybody was scared to play them. They had just swept the Nets the year before. David Stern was looking around, worried that people were going to stop watching basketball because it would become too predictable. Well, everybody else didn't want any part of the Lakers. The Kings had given them their best shot. There was one team that said, we'll beat them and we'll annihilate anybody who dares to step on the court against us. And that was the San Antonio Spurs. Crushed the Lakers, the Los Angeles Lakers. The Shaq-led Lakers crushed them in 6 games. Beat the crap out of them in game 6. Had Jack Nicholson. Is that who that is? Jack Nicholson. Had him tearing up. Who else? Shaq was on the bench looking sad at the end of the game. And Kobe and Derek Fisher, both of them were crying. Yes, crying. Grown-ass men on the bench crying because the Spurs crushed them. Crushed their hopes of getting their 4th straight NBA championship. And it was because of the Spurs that they eventually dismantled that team. Yeah, they tried to bring in Karl Malone and Gary Payton, to get back. But, it was because of the Spurs that team was just dismantled in 2005. And then the Spurs won it again. We had an aging we had an old team, an aging David Robinson. We had Steve Smith on the team. We had Kevin Willis locking Shaq up in game 6. Shaq couldn't do nothing. He could not dunk on anybody because he wasn't strong enough to get to the rim against Kevin Willis. That dude is strong as hell at 6'9.5". Ginobili, young, fresh, no ankle problems, killing people, crossed Shaq up without even dribbling. He crossed the man up and laid it up without dribbling the ball. Killed Kobe too to get to the Shaq. Then you had Tony Parker, faster than he was now. Still couldn't shoot worth a lick, but it didn't matter because could nobody stay in front of him. Bruce Bowen was locking Kobe down. Had Phil Jackson yelling at him, talking about what about some defense out here. He upset that his game was locked down by Bruce Bowen. He couldn't do nothing about that. And then, of course, we had a man who was better. Let me repeat that so that everybody can hear that. Better than Shaquille O'Neal. Tim Duncan, the 2-time MVP at the time. They couldn't stop him. They didn't have no answer for him. They had Robert Horry on the bench. They had Derek Fisher on the bench at the beginning of the 4th quarter. They didn't even get any time in the 4th quarter because they was looking for some spark from young players like Brendan. I think it was Brent. No, it wasn't Brendan, but it was Rush and Slava Medvedenko. They had Slava Medvedenko on Tim Duncan. Yeah. So it's clear that the San Antonio Spurs 0-2, 0-3 were the best team. Crushed every team they played in 6 games. Beat the Nets. David Robinson went riding out on the sunset. We still have, but we had the most underrated player of all time in Tim Duncan. I dare somebody to come up with a team who could actually beat a real team. That's what the Spurs were in 0-2, 0-3. They were a real team. You couldn't stop them. Their defense was too strong. I'm out.